The For the Girls tour starring Uchis, Mariah the Scientist, and Layla is kicking off in Morrison, Colorado. This is your number before you go. Let's get into it. You guys are going to be at the Red Rocks Amphitheater on Tuesday, May 26th. The capacity of this venue is 9,525 attendees. This is an amphitheater, so of course this is going to be outside, rain or shine. Box office is going to open at 3 p.m. I'm including a map showing you where this is located. It's going to be circled in purple. Parking lots are going to open at 5. Gates are going to open at 6. And show is slated to start at 7. This venue wants all of your valuables to be able to fit underneath your seat, which is going to be 18 inches by 12 inches. Okay, so make sure whatever you bring is going to be able to fit within that space. Bags. I'm including a picture showing you what you can bring, but I'm also kind of going to talk you through it as well. The max bag size is 13 inches wide by 15 inches tall by 8 inches deep. That is your max. As you can see in the picture, it does not have to be clear. It can be colored, just no bigger than 13 by 15 by 8. They mentioned that you can also bring a small fanny pack, small clutches that are no bigger than 6 by 9. But for the most part, this is a pretty wide bag policy, just no bigger than 13 by 15 by 8, and it does not have to be clear. Exceptions to this size would be diaper bags or medical necessity items. So if you have to bring a breast pump, of course, you can bring your bag. If that happens to be bigger than the 13 by 15 by 8, that's okay. Security will take care of you. If you have diabetic supplies that you need to bring, if you have any other medical necessity needs that you may need to bring, that will be your exception. Let security know and they will take care of it from there. Cameras. What is allowed are personal point and shoot cameras without removable lenses. Okay, so that limits you to your cameras on your phone, a point and shoot, a standard point and shoot camera, disposable camera, or a Polaroid camera. Generally, what I see is a restriction on the length of the lens for point and shoot cameras. This venue does not give a length. So what I will give you is my general length that I see overall. Generally, no longer than 3 or 4 inches do they want your lens to be before they start to categorize it as a professional camera. Okay, so I would try to stay underneath that cutoff, 3 or 4 inches. If your lens goes further than that, then I would leave that camera at home. If you have a camera that has a removable lens, they've already touched on that. That's typically a no-go. Detachable, non-detachable, leave that camera at home. A DSLR or SLR camera, I would leave that camera at home as well. A couple of cameras that I do know off the top of my head that are okay generally are the Kodak Pix Pro and the Canon GX7. Those 2 cameras are generally okay. I'm starting to keep a list to make things a little bit more easier as I go along, but those 2 I know are okay. If you have any other questions regarding cameras, please drop them. I do try to get back to you and help you with those. They also mentioned no audio or video recording devices, GoPros, 360-degree cameras, once again, cameras with removable lenses, selfie sticks, or drones. Since they touch on GoPros and 360-degree cameras, that puts me in the mind of DJI Osmos. I get questions about those. I probably would leave those at home. I get questions about smart glasses. They are recording devices, so I personally lean against them. But if you want to try, of course, you can try it. I do not see any mention of lockers or bag checks at this venue. So if you bring something that's not allowed, you're going to have to check it back to your car. So I would definitely, carefully consider what I choose to bring to this venue. But that is your camera policy. Binoculars, they are allowed. If you have tickets from the box office to pick up or you want to purchase alcohol that evening, please remember to bring your IDs. You will need those for either one of those transactions. If you have mace or pepper spray on your keychain, remember to take that off. That is considered a weapon and that is not going to be allowed into the venue. They also mentioned no studded or spiked jewelry. Aerosol cans are not going to be allowed. They give the example of hairspray, sunscreen, and oxygen canisters. So just make sure if you want to bring sunscreen, you bring it in a different form in a small bottle instead, but no aerosol cans. No gum. No gum will be allowed. If you need to bring prescription medicine, they want you to bring only what you need for the show. It needs to be in its original container with the label on it that contains your name and the dosage of the medication. Portable chargers and portable fans, they are both allowed. Umbrellas, however, are not allowed. Blankets, they can be brought in. They just want them to be no larger than 40 inches by 60 inches. They cannot be extended beyond your ticketed seating area or the walkways. This venue does have wooden benches with concrete walkways. So that's going to be your seating area, is a wooden bench with no backs. So for that reason, they are going to allow stadium seats and seat cushions. They must be under 18 inches wide and cannot have legs. Posters. They're allowing paper signs no larger than 8.5 by 11. They cannot obstruct anybody's view, and they, of course, cannot be attached to a stick or a pole. They have to be handheld. They're also going to allow empty poster tubes as well. The venue is cashless, so you want to buy merch, want to buy food, drinks. Remember to bring your physical cards or be able to use tap to pay. There's no smoking of any kind in the seating area. Cigarette and e-cigarette smoking is permitted in designated areas along the outside rail of the outside north and south stairs. They do mention all marijuana products are prohibited at the amphitheater. They do have a no re-entry policy, so make sure that once you exit, you're exiting for the evening. If you want to come back in, you're going to need a brand new ticket. Outside food. They are going to allow that. They mention it's food for personal consumption. All food must be in a clear plastic bag, 1 gallon or less. If you bring fruit and vegetables, they must be sliced. They want you to bring plastic utensils only. They are allowing empty reusable water bottles. Examples are Nalgene bottles, aluminum bottles, 32 ounces or less. Hydration packs, 2 liters or smaller, are going to be allowed as well. They mention that they must be emptied of all liquid and have no more than 1 pocket in addition to the one holding the water reservoir. Please do not bring glass bottles or other containers into the parking lots, park, or amphitheater. They are going to allow soft-sided coolers. It has to be a 6-pack size, which is 10 inches by 7 inches by 7 or smaller. Wheelchairs, they're not going to have them available for rental. They mentioned that you can choose to remain in your wheelchair or transfer to a venue provided folding chair. If for some reason you've already purchased your ticket and maybe you've had an accident and now you need ADA ticketing, they mentioned to contact your point of purchase to inquire about an exchange if needed. Parking. The price, I do believe, was included in your ticketing price for the show, so there shouldn't be no additional fee that's needed the day of your show. Parking is going to once again open at 5 o'clock. I'm going to include a picture showing you parking. They have 5 parking lots that are close to the amphitheater. The earlier you arrive, the better your chances are of getting parking in one of these 5 lots. If you don't get parking in one of these 5 lots, then they're going to have overflow parking, which is going to be available in the Jurassic lot, which I have circled in green on the map. Okay, it's about a 1-mile walk from the South Gate. They will have 4 charge point charging stations for EV vehicles. They're going to be located in the Trading Post parking lot and the Upper North parking lot. If you need ADA parking, it's going to be located at the top circle lot, which is 500 feet from row 70, which is the handicap ADA seating area, and the upper south lot, which is going to be accessible via shuttle to rows 1, 2, and 3. They mentioned that a valid disability placard, a license plate, is required to park in this ADA parking lot. The person with whom registration of the disability placard or license plate belongs to must be in the vehicle, and they mentioned identification will be required. All parking is on a first-come, first-served basis, so you're encouraged to arrive early if you need ADA parking. So I have those 2 parking lots circled in red on the map. ADA drop-off is going to be located in one of those ADA parking lots. It's in the upper south lot via entrance 3. There are going to be 2 shuttles running for this event. Both of them are complimentary. One is going to be an accessible shuttle. It's going to begin running when the event doors open, and it's going to run a continuous loop from the upper south lot down to a drop-off point, which is going to be 275 feet away from row 1 in the venue, which is your ADA row. They mentioned that this shuttle is designated for persons who have mobility disabilities, including but not limited to requiring the use of a wheelchair or other mobility device, or persons having difficulty breathing and or walking. Priority access is going to be given to patrons with row 1 tickets or mobility devices. They mentioned that even after the show is over, this shuttle is going to run and it's going to operate continuously until patrons are back to their vehicles for the night. The second shuttle is going to be the complimentary Red Rock shuttle, which is going to operate prior to and after the show is over with. They mentioned that this shuttle is basically for those who are going to be located further away from the entrance gate. So example, those who are parking in the Jurassic lot, this would be a shuttle that you might want to use. They mentioned pickup locations will be indicated with signage throughout the park. So look for your signs for where you can pick up the shuttle. Now, at the end of the show, they mentioned that there will be limited complimentary Red Rock shuttle service from the top circle lot and the Trading Post lot. That's where they will pick you up after the show and take you back to the Jurassic lot. However, they encourage attendees being picked up to head down Red Rocks Park Road. due to the required time shuttles take to loop the park. So for that reason, they are warning attendees to expect delays if you choose to take the shuttles to the Jurassic lot. Alternate means of transportations. There are not that many in Colorado. So for that reason, they are recommending carpooling. They mentioned you can use the Way to Go program to carpool. If you want more information on that, you can find that on mywaytogo.org. For those being dropped off in personal vehicles, they want you to use Top Circle Lot via Entrance 1 or Red Rocks Park Road / Trading Post Road intersection via Entrance 2. I have that circled in blue. For all oversized vehicles, and these are vehicles that are 6 feet by 5 inches wide, front and back, they must drop off and pick up patrons in the lower south lot 2, which is circled in yellow. Rideshare and personal vehicle pickup for after the show. It's going to be located in the Jurassic lot. So you have one or two options. You can try to wait for the shuttle or you can walk down. If you're going to walk down, they ask you to please follow the instructions of staff and walk downhill to meet your ride. They recommend to use the route, which is via the Will Call Trail located across from the trading post and then down Red Rocks Park Road. So I'm including a map showing you all of this information. If this is your first time to the Red Rocks Amphitheater, please pause and look at the map to kind of get yourself familiar with the area and where things are and what routes you may need to use. Weather for the evening, as forecasted right now during the day, is 72 degrees, partial cloudiness early, and then there's some mention of that four-letter word that we don't say because we don't want it. Okay, but then for the evening, they have it being 54 degrees and cloudy. So you may need a poncho, maybe depending upon what time you arrive during your arrival time. But I think for the show, you're going to have a wonderful night for the show. No mention of that four-letter word. So that is your number for you go, Colorado. Now let's get into my last words of advice as we wrap up this number for you go. I do encourage you to download the Red Rocks app. They encourage you to download it. It's going to have additional information. It's probably going to help your night be a little smoother as you go to the amphitheater. I would encourage you to get there early. Allow extra time for travel, allow extra time for parking, allow extra time for traffic. If you want the option at getting in the better parking lots, the coastal parking lots, getting there early is going to be key. The later you get there, the higher your probability is of getting in the Jurassic lot. They do mention that tailgating is going to be allowed at this event. So if you get there early, you can, pass time by tailgating. Wear comfortable shoes because routes from the parking lots to gates may be partially dirt, uphill, and far. Once again, depending upon where you park. Maybe a little chilly during the show, 54 degrees. So dress accordingly because remember, this is outside. They want you to remember the altitude. Elevation of 6,450 feet is where this venue is located. So be careful walking and climbing stairs at this venue. Go ahead and download your tickets to the show. This is going to make things quicker and easier to get into the venue. Think about traffic. Once again, the majority of people coming to the show are more than likely going to be driving. So that's just a lot of cars in itself, unless a lot of people carpool. So prepare for that type of traffic. Parking is going to take time. Consider that walking to the venue is going to take time. So consider that if you want to be in your seats on time for the show to begin. Pack your patience. It's a good amount of people coming to the show right now. It looks like the show is kind of near towards being sold out. So there will be a lot of people. Pack your patience. Getting there is half the battle. I feel like leaving is probably going to be the worst part of getting out of this venue. So pack your patience. Any questions, any comments, please drop them. I do try to get back to you as quickly as I can. If Colorado is not your stop for the Girls Tour, but you are going to one of the upcoming cities on this tour and you want to be in the number before you go, I am your girl. I am covering this tour until completion, as well as many of the other hot tours for 2026. So if you're not following me, please feel free to give me a follow. Colorado, this is a Tuesday night show. For those who may be back to work after this holiday weekend, keep that in mind because you may be dealing with a little bit of work traffic in addition to trying to get to this show. Other than that, please be safe, guys, and enjoy the show. Bye.